While the US is still arguing about touchscreen glitches and Europe is charging six figures for heated seats, the Chinese automobile industry has somehow found itself in the future already. Somewhere between the trade wars, the tariffs, and all the headlines no one bothered to read, China quietly skipped a whole generation of development. And this is the video that would make a lot of people uncomfortable, because we will see that the future of the sedan has moved from the likes of Munich and Detroit to Shenzhen and Shanghai. Today, I'm counting down the top 5 Chinese sedans, proving Europe and the US are playing catch-up in a race they didn't even realize had started. Number 5. Geely Yinhe E8. Something that catches the eye and is also a complete beast on paper. Yes, we're talking about the Geely Yinhe E8. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. For around $25,000, you're getting a sedan with an insane drag coefficient of 0.199. And that is a big steal, especially when you look in the direction of its European counterparts. For example, the Porsche Taycan has a drag coefficient of 0.22, and the Mercedes EQS, which costs at least triple the price, has one of 0.20. The Yinhe E8 sedan is slicing through air more efficiently than cars that cost what most people make in a year. And before you say, well, aerodynamics don't matter that much, they do. Every tenth of a point translates to range, efficiency, and that feeling of the car just gliding. The E8 doesn't just look fast sitting still, it is fast. We're talking 637 horsepower in the dual motor setup, launching this thing to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds. But here's where it gets insulting to legacy automakers. It's built on an 800-volt architecture. You know what that means? While you're sitting at a supercharger waiting 30 minutes for your American EV to charge, the E8 adds 110 miles of range in 5 minutes. That's less time than it takes to order coffee and pretend you're answering important emails. The interior has a 45-inch 8K display spanning the dashboard, not 3 screens taped together like some German luxury sedans I could mention, but choose not to. This one is a seamless piece of glass, and it's powered by the Snapdragon 8295 chip, which means you could literally game on this thing in high definition while charging. Compare this to what $25,000 gets you in America, a used sedan with mystery stains and a check engine light that's been on the dashboard since 2019. The math isn't mathing, and someone needs to explain why we're accepting this. Number 4. IM Motors L7. If the E8 made you uncomfortable, the IM L7 is about to make you question everything. This car has a digital light projection system with 2.6 million pixels. It doesn't just illuminate the road, it can project a crosswalk onto the pavement to signal pedestrians it's safe to cross. Meanwhile, my luxury American sedan can barely keep its adaptive headlights from blinding oncoming traffic. Let's talk about the engineering flex here. The chassis was tuned by Williams F1. Yes, that Williams, the Formula 1 team. This isn't just marketing nonsense. This is a 16-foot long sedan that can U-turn tighter than a Mini Cooper because it has 4-wheel steering with the rear wheels turning up to 12 degrees. 670 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds. And here's the real kicker, it handles like a go-kart despite being longer than most American and European sports sedans. Inside, you get a 39-inch 4K screen that physically lowers into the dashboard when you activate Super Scenic mode to give you an unobstructed view. Who thinks of this? Who sits in a design meeting and says, what if the screen just disappeared when you didn't need it? Certainly not the people designing $90,000 German sedans with fixed screens that glare directly into your retinas at sunset. The L7 starts around $40,000 to $50,000 US. For context, that's the price of a decently spec'd Ford Explorer. One is a 3-row SUV with cloth seats. The other is an F1 tuned luxury sedan with talking headlights. The choice should be obvious, but tariffs and nationalism are a hell of a drug. Number 3. Avatar 12. Now we're entering truly wild territory. The Avatar 12 is what happens when engineers completely ignore the accountants and just build the concept car. This car does not have a rear window, just a high-definition camera feed showing you more than glass ever could. And before you dismiss this as gimmicky, think about it. No blind spots, instead better visibility in rain and darkness. That is structural rigidity off the charts. This is the kind of a bold design decision that Western automakers are too afraid to make because they're terrified of focus groups in Ohio. The front end has C-shaped LED lights that look like glowing fangs, and on the hood, yes, on the hood, there's a screen that can display messages to pedestrians. You could literally communicate with people outside your car. The pettiness potential alone makes this worth it. Under the skin, you're looking at 578 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and a 94.5 kilowatt-hour battery delivering around 430 miles of range. It runs Huawei's ADS 2.0 autonomous system, which can navigate complex city streets without you touching the wheel. It's not lane keep assist that ping-pongs you between white lines. It's actual functional autonomy. The interior is dominated by a 35.4-inch 4K remote screen at the base of the windshield, plus a 15.6-inch floating center display. The roof is electrochromic glass that instantly fogs up to block sun with the press of a button. No physical shade, just technology that works. And the price, $41,000. Now again, that's what a loaded Ford Explorer costs, except one has camera mirrors, autonomous driving, and zero-gravity seats inspired by astronauts. The other has a third row and a mediocre infotainment system. So be honest, would you rather stick with Ford or go with the Avatar 12 if it was available? Let me know down in the comments. Number 2, Nio ET9. Stop what you're doing. This is the car that breaks the internet. The Nio ET9 has a feature that sounds like science fiction. If you park it in a snowstorm, you don't scrape ice. You press a button and the entire chassis shakes the snow off like a dog drying itself. It's called Skyride Active Suspension, and when I first heard about it, I thought it was CGI. Well, it's not. It's real, and it makes every other suspension system look like wooden cart wheels. Just look at the results of that speed bump test. You would barely feel a thing from the inside. This car runs on China's first full domain 900-volt architecture. Not 400, not 800, 900. It supports 5C charging, meaning you add 155 miles of range in 5 minutes. Tesla Supercharger 5, 3 peaks at 250 kilowatts. The ET9, 600 kilowatts. It literally inhales electricity. Power comes from dual motors pushing 697 horsepower. This land yacht, longer than a Mercedes S-Class, hits 60 miles per hour in around 4 seconds. And because of that hydraulic suspension, you could drive over a speed bump with champagne glasses on the hood and not spill a drop. And yes, they actually tested that. And the interior isn't a car cabin, it's a private lounge. Strict 4-seater configuration with 2 first-class airline suites in the back. The center console runs the entire length of the car with a motorized laptop tray, a champagne fridge, and seats that recline 45 degrees with massage functions that probably feel better than human hands. It competes directly with the $200,000 Mercedes Maybach. The ET9 starts around $112,000. It's still expensive, but a car that shakes off snow, charges in 5 minutes, and drives itself for nearly half the price. That's not a purchase, that's a statement. Number 1, BYD Yangwang U7. The final boss. If you actively follow the trends with Chinese cars, then it would be no surprise to see this one top the list today. Talking about the BYD Yangwang U7. There is a stereotype to cars that just by one look, you know this car can be insanely fast if and when it needs to be. And that is exactly the kind of car that the BYD Yangwang U7 is. Under the hood, this beast doesn't disappoint. It rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.9 seconds, with a top speed that comfortably eclipses most European sports sedans. But that's still not the climax, because this BYD has a dual motor all-wheel drive setup, and because of that, it delivers the power rather smoothly. So we are not making statements like, this is fast for an EV. No, it is fast, full stop. And like other Chinese cars on the list today, this one costs only a fraction of its European counterpart. The future is not full of emotional brand loyalty or some heritage marketing like we have today. We have to go down the route of a very brutal cost efficiency. I am talking about the most performance, most technology, and most luxury per dollar. The equation has fundamentally changed. And at the moment, China is already playing that game. Worse, they are the only ones playing that game. Because when we look at American and EU cars, sure, they are luxurious and have all those cool features, but are they really worth the bank-breaking prices? With a car like the BYD Yangwang U7, we're talking starry sky ceilings with animated meteor showers, a feature that would cost a fortune on a European flagship, yet comes standard here. Crystal-cut headlights that dazzle even when off, two-tone factory paint finishes, real silk interiors, immersive 40-plus speaker sound systems delivering a concert hall experience in your cabin. These cars are 5.4 meters long, longer than Cadillac Escalades. They offer 800-plus horsepower, 800-volt charging, and rear-wheel steering that lets them U-turn tighter than compact cars. The message is clear. China isn't trying to compete with Western brands anymore. They've moved past it. They're defining what luxury means in the electric age, while we're still arguing about whether touch controls are better than physical buttons. Here's the uncomfortable truth. While we were busy protecting legacy automakers with tariffs and convincing ourselves that heritage and brand prestige matter more than actual innovation, China built the future. These 5 sedans aren't just good Chinese cars. At some point, we would need to let go of that stereotype. They're better cars, and that's on period. Better technology, better value, better vision of what transportation should be in 2026. And the scariest part? This is just the sedan category. Wait until you see what they're doing with SUVs and trucks. So I'll leave you with this question. How long are we going to keep pretending that $80,000 for heated seats and a subscription-based car is acceptable when the rest of the world has moved on? Drop your thoughts below, and if this made you uncomfortable, good, it should.